Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the RocaNews Show. We've got some big stories to tell you about today to discuss, including the Saudi prince visit to the White House, including Zoran's surprising new move with the NYPD chief, and also Viagra and hearing loss. But first, the major order of business is that it's a very special day. It is Billy Carney's birthday. Happy birthday, Billy.
Thank you, Max. Turning 30 today, turning unk today. No place I'd rather be. Excited for the show.
Let's go. You are one of New Jersey's finest, and couldn't be happier to be your co-founder. So
that is very sweet.
Let's go, Billy. Well,
thank you,
all
Max.
right.
Well, you want me to kick us off here?
Yeah, kick it off.
Or what do you want to do?
No, you take it away.
All right. So, first order of business, first story of the day. We have Trump hosting Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman at the White House today. And it's the prince's first visit to Washington in 8 years. He's only visited the U.S. White House twice, first of which was Trump's first term, second of which was Trump's second term. So at the meeting, reporters asked Trump about the 2018 killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The president said that the Crown Prince knew nothing of it and told reporters not to embarrass our guest. With that said, the CIA has previously concluded that the Crown Prince approved of the mission to kill Khashoggi inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul and dismember his body with a saw. So that's nice. At the White House meeting, the Crown Prince announced that Saudi Arabia would increase its investment commitments in the U.S. from $600 billion a year to $1 trillion. Trump announced that he would designate Saudi Arabia as a major non-NATO ally and approved the sale of F-35 stealth fighter jets to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The leaders also discussed some potential normalization of relations between Saudi Arabia and Israel, though the Crown Prince said that the kingdom first wanted to see a clear path to establishing a Palestinian state. Now, I'm sure, Max, you have many thoughts on this, or maybe none because you have nothing to say, but we do have a clip to show as well here if we want to do that
Yeah, why
first.
don't we do the clip? Let's check out the clip.
Let's see what we got.
Oh, Trump on.
As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
About the journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for no real purpose or nothing illegal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc., in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that. And it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
Wow, I'll take euphemisms for 8,000, Alex, on the things happen for buzz sawing a journalist in your company and in murdering him. So the interesting part of this was just how many people, to me at least, was how many people were in the room and who they were. So you had Cristiano Ronaldo there, the most followed person on Instagram. He actually posted a video with Trump afterwards to his almost 500 million Instagram followers. You also had Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. You had Jensen Huang, founder and CEO of NVIDIA. You had Elon Musk back in the White House. You had the president of OpenAI, not Sam Altman, but Brockman. You had so many more leading figures, especially in the tech industry, sort of showing how the increasingly close relationship between the Saudi government and the United States of America extends far beyond politics and our foreign policy, but also to the business world. And it's just sort of a major departure from, the foreign policy of, say, 2010. And so sort of, I think this will be remembered as sort of a major moment. And obviously the Saudi royals were a key part of Trump's peace plan in Gaza. So anyways, just kind of an interesting watermark, I think, for our foreign policy and for the state of our oligarchs in the tech world's foreign relationships and fundraising because a lot of Saudi money is going into Silicon Valley right now.
Absolutely. And it's obviously a clear departure from Biden, who said he would make Saudi Arabia a pariah state for their human rights abuses, including but not limited to buzzsawing a journalist. The Ronaldo one's interesting. You know, he plays for a Saudi Arabian team, which I guess is what the connection is here. They're paying him I think close to $300 million a year to play soccer. So maybe that's why he was involved. Who's to say?
He was apparently not officially invited. He's part of their delegation.
Oh,
so
really?
He and the prince chose to come together. And I was just picturing how little Trump probably knows, but I saw some clips of Ronaldo laughing with Trump, and you got to think of him, little Lionel, right next to you. He's not the GOAT. They think he's great. He's not. But it was
good.
Also Bryson. Thank you. Been working on that. Bryson DeChambeau was there. And Josh Harris, owner of the 76ers, and now new owner of the Washington Commanders. Yeah, you had it's always interesting to see who's at those events. I would say the fact that Tim Cook was there especially stuck out. He's obviously, presented Trump with gifts and become a lot closer to Trump and sort of, bowing, yes, sir, yes, sir. But I think the degree to which he's allied with Trump has surprised many, including myself.
Trump is really, when it first started happening and all the, tech titans were at the White House when he got inaugurated,
mm-hmm.
I was excited about that. For a long time, it's been this big separation of businesses, which are so powerful, Elon Musk included, business people, and politics in the U.S. And it feels like, there should be some unity there. But now we're at a point where twice on Truth Social this week, Trump's posted about how we're going to lose the AI race to China, so we have to double down. And it doesn't seem to care at all about the potential impending jobs Armageddon. We'll get into it in a sec with the October jobs report, of course.
I guess the alternative view is that it opens up to enormous corruption. Someone else in the room was David Ellison, the son of Larry Ellison, Oracle founder, one of the 3 richest people on the planet. And all of these people are getting... I think they're kissing the ring because they realize that's how you can be most effective with Trump. But also, I think it does open up the possibility of corruption. And Trump has done a few sweetheart deals that have shaken up the business world. So I guess that's the alt viewpoint of, do we want oligarchs sort of kissing the ring and getting sweetheart deals with the leader of the free world? I get what you're saying too, though. It's also it's an alternative world. They're fighting constantly, and these people are super powerful. So I guess maybe there's a happy medium.
I don't know if I've come around to it completely, but it almost feels better if they are fighting, so they don't do as much.
Yeah.
But the Ellison one, we could talk about that all day, so I won't open up the can of worms there.
Yes.
Our favorite topic.
Wait, can I just say too, the fact that you have this weird sort of incestuous, I think a lot of it's performative, but dynamic, I think, emerging in Silicon Valley, where you had Sam Altman celebrating the new, highly touted release of Google Gemini's model. That's Google's AI operation, and apparently their new model is unbelievable. It's award-winning. It's the new leader, and he's sort of very happy. And he has this sort of view of we're all working together, even though behind the scenes, every report suggests he's pathologically ambitious and just wants to take over the world. And there's a lot of fighting behind the scenes. So, but it is interesting to see competitors, posing for photos. Billy, something you've talked a lot about is they're competitors in one sense, but they're also mutually enriching each other through all these new deals. Like NVIDIA and OpenAI are not competitors. I was thinking more OpenAI and XAI and Apple would be competitors. So Elon and Brockman and Tim Cook. But they're at least performing as if we're all on the same team humanity. Let's make these models great.
Speaking of NVIDIA, they're about to announce their earnings results. Comes out after the close today, which just happened. Maybe we'll have a live reaction on the show, depending on how long it takes them to get through it. But that is, people are saying that's seeing on how they're doing could be a big indication of how all these intercompany deals are doing. And if it's negative results, and negative essentially meaning NVIDIA is not hitting these super ambitious targets, it could get messy.
It does feel like if one of these places goes down, they could bring a lot with them. But I also saw last thing, OpenAI, I think for their latest funding round is targeting investors in Saudi Arabia. I think targeting the Saudi royal family. So who knows what they discussed at the dinner last night? I doubt they were just talking about the early Western Conference NBA race. I think they're a little more interested in some big deals involving many zeros. But interesting dinner. Billy and I got invited. We said no. We like to paid appearances, and apparently the U.S. government doesn't do that. So, anyways, we set that one out and had, what do we have? Chipotle, you said?
See you at the Saudi Comedy Festival.
Yeah, Riyadh. Shout out.
All right. So, moving on here to story number 2. So, the NYPD commissioner, Jessica Tisch, announced this morning that she's going to stay in her position of power leading the NYPD under Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. And this has eased concerns of some business leaders and, frankly, I think a lot of people around the city about Mamdani's potential crime reduction efforts. Mamdani, as we know, is a democratic socialist. He's previously supported defunding the police, but he was urging Tisch to stay in as commissioner, whether that is kind of a political move or a genuine move, I'm not sure. But Tisch said she and Mamdani, while they don't agree on everything, they do share priorities on quote-unquote lowering crime and fighting corruption, also supporting officers. So crime has fallen quite a bit under Tisch's leadership these past few years. New York shootings are at historic lows. Max, you recently did a video on DC about how it's so much more violent than New York. As New Yorkers, it has felt like it's been getting better.
Totally.
Under Adams' reign with Tisch in office. So thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we also have a clip on this of Zoran defending his decision to a left-wing media ally whom Roca has interviewed, Mr. Mehdi Hassan. So, Billy, do we want to play that clip? How do we feel about that?
You want the whole thing? 3 minutes?
No, maybe just the very beginning, because he kind of gets into it.
All right, let me know.
You said that as mayor, you'd be keeping on NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch. Many of your critics on the left say that keeping Tisch would be a continuation of the status quo here in New York City. She's against bail reform. She's spoken out against pro-Palestine protesters. She's even worked in the intelligence division that constructed a surveillance system for Muslims in New York. What do you say to your supporters who are a little bit disillusioned on this one appointment and say, come on, Zoran, why would you keep her on?
So I said in the primary that I would consider keeping on Commissioner Tisch, and then I said in the general that this is a decision I was making to retain her. And much of that had to do with the fact that when Eric Adams had appointed Commissioner Tisch, he had truly stacked the upper echelons of the NYPD with corruption and a complete lack of accountability. And what she has been able to do in the time that she's
here, he goes on to say essentially that she's done a decent job in that although he won't be boosting the number of cops on the streets and will instead be focusing some of his efforts on that community force that will intervene in cases of mental illness and other homelessness. He says that basically the lines between that cops are doing non-cop jobs and dealing with mentally ill people in the subway system, which has remained a problem in New York. Crime has gotten better, but there were just... the subways are filled with people who are, shouldn't be out in public without supervision. So it was interesting to see Zoran defending his decision. It's also interesting to see him sort of speak like a leader. I don't mean to say he hasn't been leader-esque, but the fact that he's now elected and it's no longer him sort of in promise mode, but him in like bargaining. This is politics. It's messy. It's never orderly and perfect. We don't play in that realm. We exist in a realm where things require compromise. They require sort of these practical moves. So anyways, it's just a different way he speaks because he's so idealistic, and that's why so many people love him. But yeah, I mean, listen, the mayor can pull levers on crime. I mean, we did a report on Oakland. You can call it political, but I think the verdict is in that major defund the police or scare away the police programs don't work. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have accountability. We just got back from Minneapolis where the police department clearly did have a systemic history of sort of, of abuse and covering for each other akin to kind of like the Catholic sex abuse scandal where you had some bad dioceses, and this was one example of a bad police precinct. Anyways, or police department, and within which there were bad police precincts. So yeah, Jessica Tisch on. I feel that's good for New York. Some stability and no bail reform. Sorry, Billy.
No, I agree with you there. And of course the police do the arresting, but it is the DA that does the prosecuting. And Alvin Bragg did win again, I believe, and he's pretty soft on crime, I guess you could say. And he's made a point that he's not going to go after violent crimes, of which he has a pretty loose definition. So it seems like a lot of status quo, which is trending in the right direction. Not exactly how I do it, but I agree with you. It's cool to see Zohran talk the way he did in that interview.
Yeah, just the last thing I'll say on that is I do think that, it's easy to complain, and New York does have many, many problems. It remains dirty. There are too many crazy people on the streets, insanely expensive, just absurdly expensive. But just look at the crime numbers. I know you can say, hey, maybe police departments fudge it. They can't fudge homicides, and homicides are, again, last year DC had 6 times higher the rate, the year before 9 times higher the rate, Chicago roughly the higher, roughly the same as DC. So all that to say, New York, in comparing it to other major cities in the U.S., does not have a major homicide problem. So Jessica Tisch, good work. And let's talk about job numbers, brother.
We love jobs. We love jobs.
Steve and his brother Tommy.
Steve was a revolutionary. All right. So the Labor Department has canceled its October jobs report. So the department said today, Wednesday, it will not release October jobs numbers due to complications from the government shutdown, though it plans to include some data in the November report. Now, the federal employees who conduct the household surveys were furloughed during the collection period, and so basically the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, was not able to gather unemployment data and workforce data. The agency said that October payroll survey data will be included in its November report, which has been moved from the 5th of December to the 16th, but the cancellation means economists, businesses, policymakers, the Fed are not going to have a complete picture of the economy for several weeks. With all this stuff, it's kind of a decent excuse, I suppose. In the past, though, there hasn't been much data that's just evaporated. They've kind of come back and done it retroactively. So it's kind of, in my opinion, a terrible look at this time. Maybe they think it's a better look to just not show it. But again, like with this AI stuff, recently graduated unemployment's super high. And Trump's praising all this AI again.
I think a lot of how you view the stories is comes down to how you look at the government, and you could sort of take a view of, oh, they're hiding something. If you have a more negative view and you believe that agency heads are colluding closely with the White House, which is very concerned with politics and optics and all that stuff, or you could look at it more favorably and go, that actually makes sense. If the people who are supposed to be conducting these numbers aren't doing their job, they're not employed, they're not getting paid. Again, just coming back from D.C., those streets are empty. And let me tell you, they've been empty. They felt empty for a while just because of all the work from home, which sort of changed in the Doge era, but it's also generally just sort of a quiet city. Anyways, the job numbers... Now I guess that just puts extra pressure on November, but yeah, Billy, I don't know. Do you have any final thoughts, or should we get to Viagra?
I think it's Viagra time. I was gonna say on this story, though it kind of came out earlier. Again, like unemployment's going up. Trump seems to be really in bed with these AI guys who don't. Besides the Anthropic CEO, who has come out several times and said, we're heading towards like a jobs collapse, like 20% unemployment by 2030, which would be the highest since the Great Depression. I think a little higher than the Great Depression. It's a little disconcerting in my opinion. No one seems to be talking about it. Maybe that's because big tech is so powerful in DC. I don't know.
Dude, it's so powerful in DC, and I was talking about this morning. It is absolutely absurd that AI companies control every means of getting information out there at this point. So if you were to sort of conduct a campaign against AI. It would be impossible simply because Google, they're all in on AI with Gemini.
That's a good point.
Meta's all in on AI. X is all in on AI. Every single TikTok owned by Larry Ellison, whose company depends on AI. And Frost made the point too. So I likened it to, it would be like cable or tobacco companies or oil companies controlling the printing press, literally owning all the printing press. And that's the reality with AI companies today. And he made the point that it doesn't feel like public opinion has caught up to or is reflected on social media right now. Like when you look at public polls or you look at what your friends say in the group chat, I mean, AI is not popular. And if it's insane that we should be so timid about criticizing it. And that's where we are. Like, I would not, if Roca did a long series on AI, do you really think it would organically catch fire on the algorithm? Do you think so? And, what's going on?
1 second here.
Oh, wow.
I heard my name. My ears started ringing.
Oh, my goodness.
Wait, are we live? Are we live?
We are live.
All right, we got to
just
We let it go live.
We did not expect an appearance from Frost.
All right, we're just back from Arkansas, and we got the Scott Rice here. Shout out Scott, the listener of this podcast, gave us a tour of the Anheuser-Busch Ricery. Shout out Scott. Thank you,
Scott.
We're putting it right here in the studio.
So he makes rice beer?
No, dude. When you get a Michelob Ultra, the reason it tastes so crisp and fresh is because it's got Arkansas rice in it.
Wow.
Rice. It's half a can of Mich Ultra is rice.
Ricin.
Ricin.
Shout out.
Ricin it.
We're ricin tonight.
Sorry to interrupt. I wasn't trying to interrupt.
All right,
Dude.
so we've got one more on the podcast today.
Wow. We did not. This is unbelievable. This is what a treat.
Well, hey, it's Billy's 30th birthday. You think I wasn't going to make an appearance in the pod for the 30th?
We were just talking about how you can't even criticize AI. And except that now, okay, why don't you take these headphones? I'll take another set.
No, you're good. You're good.
And I brought up, kind of our conversation this morning about, and this was with a friend. Shout out Joel if you're listening. But he we were talking about how AI. There's this major new AI super PAC. I'm forgetting the name of it. Do you remember it?
No, I don't.
Shoot, basically Mark Andreessen Horowitz founder, which is one of the three biggest funds I believe in the world, massively influential VC titan. He basically led the charge to build a pro-crypto super PAC. And that became enormously influential in recent elections, sort of threatening any official who opposed crypto. And it basically led to a bull market for crypto, all this stuff. And we were just thinking more and more, it's like, if AI leaders collude or even just protect their own interests, it will be impossible to mount any sort of major criticism of AI in the future. And it's driving me crazy just thinking about it, because I don't think they're so cynical as in if anyone says AI, we won't get it out there. Obviously, some posts go viral, but to suggest that we know they can pull levers. They did it on COVID. They've done it on so many issues. They've done it on issues of political correctness. They have AI that will flag certain types of content, send it to a content review team, potentially taken down or demonetized, or your account gets striked. So we know they have these capabilities. You're telling me they're not doing this on AI?
No, I think they definitely are. I mean, it's just frightening. In fact, I was just saying the way here that I realized, dude, we're 100% in a huge bubble because there's some ad for some horrible AI app on the subway coming here from the airport, and it was like I Googled it, and it's it's like emotional AI. It's supposed to be like your emotionally reactive friend. And I looked it up. It's just so stupid. It's like it says humans aren't good listeners. We've built this AI off the best human listeners, so they know how to react to you. I Googled it this last week, or November 10th, it said, $5.5 million raise. I mean, this thing is just obviously not going to succeed. And there's nothing to it. And I was just like, what? The fact that that's $5.5 million right there makes, it's just evidence they were in a bubble. Have you guys already talked about NVIDIA? What's going to happen today?
We were talking about how the earnings are literally coming out right now, but they haven't yet. It's pretty much the precursor to what's happening with all these interconnected deals, right? So it's been down the past week, and there's always insider trading around this stuff. So I'm almost anticipating bad news. I want to know what that super PAC is called, though. I think AI PAC might be taken by somebody else.
Well, that's what the article pointed out, that AI PAC, they're calling that, they had some super generic name like For a Safe Future, one of those. But yeah, the AI, the crypto super PAC was super influential. I mean, it raised more money than APAC, not AI, but American Israeli Political Action Committee, than they raised in the last cycle by far. And anyways, so like that was just, and Ross, did you see who was at this dinner last? I still can't believe you're here, bro. Let's go.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Did you see who was at this dinner last night?
No. What dinner?
The Saudi Crown Prince one.
No.
You had
Who?
Vlad Tenev. You had.
You kind of don't need headphones at this point.
No, it was just stretched around.
I can hear this because I don't think we have more clips to play. But
Vlad Tenev.
I don't know why I'm starting
he's
with
the Robin Hood founder.
Robin Hood guy.
Robin Hood, that's it.
And then you had the heavy hitters: Elon Musk, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jensen Huang. I was just looking at pictures.
Ronaldo?
Ronaldo.
Oh, because
He
it's
plays
Saudi.
in Saudi Arabia.
And
$300
Ronaldo-
million year contract.
Yeah, and Ronaldo posted a video with Trump that like went crazy on Instagram. Most followed account on Instagram.
Did you see today that Wall Street Journal just reported Paramount is getting Arab money to buy Warner Brothers?
Guess
No
who was
way.
there last night?
Ellison?
David Ellison. He was there. I mean, it was. I did not know that. I thought I saw a rumor about it. I mean, everyone's looking to Saudi for money. Altman is, and so it felt very oligarchical. I guess the flip side is, would you want your government fighting with tech? I mean, and have sort of the Europe relationship where it's totally antagonistic. I think we're far from that. I think we're like well into crony territory. But I mean, what's your take?
I mean, honestly, being down in the South, and I don't just mean the South, I mean like the middle of nowhere, Arkansas, Mississippi, has been great for my mental health. Because like this stuff is not, I don't think AI came up once in the last 10, 11 days. I don't think a single person mentioned AI.
I can see it in your eyes. You
Like-
got like I haven't heard
He's
AI.
happy for the
Dude, I'm not
first
kidding.
time.
I've been this stuff's been really stressing me out thinking
Yeah.
about it, and like you see it everywhere here. You walk outside, and it's like, there's that one ad campaign they're running that's like, essentially says like fire. I don't know, you've probably seen it, or the viral one that's like fire your staff or like replace your staff with AI.
Oh, I haven't.
You just see this stuff everywhere
Yeah.
here, and it's like down there like zero.
Yeah.
And now, granted, these are the poorest places in the whole country. Not everywhere we went, but like the Mississippi Delta, AI hasn't reached there, but also they don't have running water in Jackson, Mississippi. So, I don't know. I mean, it's disturbing, but it's nice to have been at arm's length from it.
I mean, I guess that is, if you actually think about, like, I do think that to enforcing your point, like, if you totally escaped the discourse here and just detached, you probably would feel a lot better. And maybe you would save yourself some sweat. Because I bet you if podcasting existed in the time of, like the early nuclear era or like a post-Chernobyl era or any other time there's been sort of like a moral panic or sort of like this, you're doing drills in school about, nuclear weapons and hiding under your desk, even though that wouldn't do anything if a nuke went off. But any moral panic in history, you would have had, like the McCarthy, like you would have incurred so much stress just by listening to podcasts if social media existed then. So I guess it's like if you remove yourself from the noise, you probably are a lot happier and maybe you don't even lose that much wisdom or insight or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. We met a lot of people down there who are like really like successful, happy, not just like financially successful, but just like, with it, well off, well-to-do people. And it's just different. They're also down there. One thing we take for granted here, so everyone's in like the services industry.
Yeah.
So everyone feels like their job is at risk.
Yeah.
Whether it's finance, whether it's law, whether it's media, whether it's all the stuff in New York, right? Tech. Whereas like, look, if you work at the Anheuser-Busch rice distillery, I don't think you have to worry about AI coming for your job.
No.
And it's true for just like down there, all the industries you see in that part of the country are so much more like real. That's not to put down like what we do here or anything, but like it's it's the industry in the South tends to be much more like the three biggest companies in Arkansas, right? All in Northwest Arkansas: Walmart, JB Hunt Trucking, Tyson Chicken, Tyson Meats. So you just think about that. It's like you wouldn't find any of those companies in New York. They couldn't be in New York. It doesn't make sense. Like,
dude, that is. I mean, I kind of. Listen, everybody said learn coding 6 years ago, and now people are saying like become electricians, and it's hard to, I think, forecast too far out. But intuitively, it does feel that there won't be a takeover anytime soon in a lot of these sort of manual industries.
Well, just it's like whether we hit that inflection point or not, right? Where like AI is improving itself. We did generally you have these robots walking around that do these kind of tasks, because at that point then it's like nothing is safe.
Nothing is safe. And I also, again, this may not be a healthy thought pattern to just go like, we won't be able to criticize AI and it'll be terrible. I mean, but it would be sort of naive to assume that we could get to that point and also have healthy discourse on whether we should have those AI robots going around, because every way of getting a point out there is in bed with AI. So it would be like, I mean, we wouldn't let people on our RocaNews app advertise CNN. It's like, why would these companies let someone really gain traction and have super viral videos saying, kill the thing they're betting on?
Right.
That's it.
All right.
One thing I noticed, we still have 350K subscribers to YouTube here. We're up at 420 now?
Yeah, so I had updated this, but I didn't put the new thing in. However,
so not updated. Cool.
Well, I mean, we're going to be at 450 tomorrow, right? Where's Drew? Get to work. All right. Should we do the last story here? We have a fun one to kick us. Wrap this up.
It's also great that Frost came in at this time, because this is kind of his story. So
his favorite thing: flies and Viagra.
Oh, let's go.
So,
all right.
So we'll get through this one quick. All right. So a new study has shown that Viagra could fight hearing loss in flies. So Viagra apparently may reverse a permanent form of inherited hearing loss caused by a mutation in the CPD gene, according to new studies. Researchers from the University of Chicago and partner institutions discovered that sildenafil, which is Viagra's active ingredient, stimulates nitric oxide production to restore sound detection in patients with sensorineural I'm going to mess this up regardless, hearing loss. Testing on fruit flies with CPD mutation showed that sildenafil and arginine supplements successfully improved hearing by maintaining amino acid levels in ear hair cells. So a few thoughts here. One, I guess the three of us will be okay in here forever. Two, I would love to see what a fly looks like on Viagra.
Yes. I wonder how hard they are to swat at that point. I recently
that's cringe.
What? It's true.
That's
they are flying around. They're already
it's true,
hard to
he
get.
says.
It's true. If they're on Viagra, anyways.
Wasn't it a story about Viagra curing Alzheimer's, or preventing Alzheimer's, that got us in trouble on Instagram?
Yes.
That was the Albert Einstein one.
They've also said so many things are going to cure Alzheimer's. That's like the biggest graveyard of medicine. But yeah, we put up the cover. It was Albert Einstein writing on the chalkboard, Viagra, and they said we're promoting a prescription drug, and so we should be banned.
Clearly, the content moderators aren't flies over at Meta, but they... Yeah, I find all these interesting. I mean, we love to sort of highlight good news stories, and this is obviously great for the fly community, but also I think that, there are so many amazing medical breakthroughs that are taking place. Now, some will be false promise and overinflated, but I think that we should have the sense, and our goal is for you to have the sense that there is enormous progress being made. And we also don't want to be full-fledged Luddites where we're only talking about tech or medical breakthrough, when it's shitty. So, exciting news.
Can I pose a question to you guys?
Ooh.
This isn't Viagra related, but just curious if you guys are getting this sense that I've just come back with. That Trump has kind of lost it.
I was saying that well, I didn't say that directly, but I agree with you. I mean, he campaigned on a populist, tariffs, we're going to restore manufacturing, restore all the jobs. He's truthed multiple times this week about China taking over AI. He's in bed with like the tech titans. It seems like he's totally lost the plot of like what he's been promising.
And sorry, I didn't mean to just flip from Viagra to Trump, but I was looking at what you guys were talking about right before this, and I see you're mentioning the thing, and I just realized, being gone, dude, no one talks about Trump unless people are talking negatively about Trump. Yeah. I heard literally no one in those states down there sing his praises.
What were their issues?
He lost his base.
They just don't talk about him.
Yeah.
But no one talked about it. But like, dude, it used to be you couldn't go anywhere without people talking about Trump. Yeah. And now I think people are sick of it. What do you guys think?
I think they're sick of it. I think that if you recall, Trump won though. I mean, he did ebb and flow, I think, in terms of his relevance, and obviously his popularity really ebbed as the years went on. I mean, he left with a very low approval rating. So I think you can get Trump fatigue both in the news cycle and even as voters. But I also think the fact that he's kind of done, I think there was something about Trump one where the movement felt fresh and it felt new and he felt so central to the movement. And now it feels like the movement has kind of left him a bit. I think that people have taken it further. There's obviously the MAGA Civil War. I agree. I mean, there was always that criticism. Well, the compliment is that Trump listens to people more than you think. And then the criticism is that he always concludes that whatever the last thing he heard is true. And I think that right now with tech, he's kind of like his H-1B take this week about we need H-1Bs. They're really good. That is so not a Trump one vibe.
Totally. He also kind of accomplished, I mean, in terms of the older people, he closed the border, totally, which is something a lot of people wanted. The deportations have effectively failed, it seems like. I mean, they're ongoing, but nowhere near the level they have to be. Not necessarily on him.
Yeah.
But that's the reality. He's lost a lot of young people with the Epstein stuff. What else is there? What big campaign promise?
Wars, he's done pretty good
Ukraine,
on.
he's trying to end the Ukraine war right now.
I mean, yeah, I think that he's probably, it was also interesting to see him not trash talk Tucker because Tucker has kind of covertly gone after him, I would say, or at least what his administration's done in a bunch of areas. And he kind of he spoke up, Tucker. I didn't watch the whole clip, but I just saw briefly that when he was confronted on the runway. Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Frost? Do you think he's really treading water in the heartland and Dixie?
I don't think he's really treading water. I mean, those places are going to vote for him no matter what, right? Mm-hmm. Like truly, but. I don't know. It was just strange to be out. I mean, even being out everywhere that I've gone since Trump's been elected, Trump has been the point of conversation.
Yeah.
People are fired up about Trump and whatever.
Yeah.
Not this time. And these are deeply conservative places. So it's also possible because they're so conservative, people don't feel a need to talk about it. But the only time I heard it come up was when people were speaking negatively of him. And I just think people are kind of like he promised a lot.
Yeah, he did.
And the tariffs are probably about to be struck down.
Yeah.
And even if they stay, they're going to be struck down almost certainly. Inflation is still high. AI is eating at everything. Trump, I think, just looks like an oligarch now, in a way that he didn't even before. I think people are just kind of he's owned, and the
corruption,
the corruption, the Epstein stuff. I think it all just makes him look like he's kind of not there. And again, it'd be one thing if he didn't. The fact is he tried to do all this stuff, right? He set out with a super ambitious agenda, and when you do that, it's not. I don't know.
I do think that the Epstein files are. Oh my gosh! I mean, I guess maybe the conspiracies could keep going because they'll be they didn't release everything.
So what is supposed to be in these files? Because I think everyone has a different idea. I think a lot of people think the files, it's just going to make a list of here's all the high profile pedophiles in America. Which is just not going to be, right? Or is there a chance that there's something in there that's
I think there are a few smoking guns people are looking for. They're looking for Mossad involvement or anything that points to that, CIA involvement. And I think there's going to be a lot of guilt by association here. If your name's in the files, we were talking about this yesterday. Even if you had dinner with him once, it's going to be the first thing on your Google search results for the rest of your life.
Who's bringing a Pinker? There was going to be a lot of McCarthy. You were with him. No, you were with him. Yeah. And people
but everyone was with him.
Exactly.
I mean, we already know that everyone from George Stephanopoulos and all these people were hanging out with him.
And there could also be maybe there are some very incriminating things, and hopefully those get investigated. What was the other thing I was going to say? The other thing is in the Massey bill, it says release all the unclassified files. So the class, and someone asked him about that. They said, he said, if you don't put that in there, it's not going to pass, I think was roughly the answer. I don't remember exactly. So, I mean, the juicy stuff's probably locked away anyway.
I don't know and we don't know if there is juicy stuff.
Right. But if there were to be juicy stuff.
If there were to be juicy stuff, yeah. And I say that not to be the establishment is never wrong, trust the experts, that it's very much antithetical to Roca's founding. We literally started because the experts in media class failed Americans. But I do think that the level of promises, I do think you're exactly right. For people want it to be, sort of opening up the shed in True Detective to see McConaughey's work on the wall and be all right, so here he was here, and we know this. You know, like yes, Summers was in the jet and assault category. Then you have Trump. He was just he was just a Palm Beach. Like I think they're going to be like, there's a massage friend. There's people who helped him traffic, and like it'll be one. It's not going to be that. I imagine it'll be a big dud, and then I don't know what would satisfy people at this point.
It's not going to be satisfactory, whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess he has. I mean, is there any argument that he's played his hand well here?
I mean, with Pam Bondi saying on day one she's got these files, I think it's been a disaster.
Why do you
Yeah.
guys think he's fought releasing them?
I bet he's implicated somehow.
I know, but if he's relenting now, like,
Well, he has to relent now. I mean, the entire world's coming against him.
He doesn't have to relent now. I mean, like,
I've been thinking the same thing. Like maybe he was that scared for the birthday card and other things to come out. I mean, the idea that the Biden administration would know he was like a pet. Like if let's say that's the worst case scenario. He was on the island. He did stuff on the island. The idea that the Biden department wouldn't release that is just goes against everything we know about partisan politics. So I doubt it's that extreme. I imagine he was afraid of, Trump.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have wanted the letter out there. Like,
I mean, that point right there to me undermines like a huge amount of this stuff. The idea is that the deep state has this information. Well, the same people who believe the deep state has all this information are also the same people largely who believe the deep state tried to kill Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania.
yeah.
So they tried to kill him. They had the access. They had the proof that Trump was a pedophile, and they didn't release it.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it.
On that point, Frost, not to derail us again, here, but there was something. Did you see Tucker made that video this week about Crooks?
I haven't watched it, but
I saw a
something.
clip of it, and apparently, not to misrepresent this, I didn't watch the whole thing. It seemed to me that the takeaway was that there was a Nordic terrorist organization that found Crooks online. He was posting all this like kind of relatively extreme stuff, and then they started saying like, none of this matters unless you take a gun and do it, or like unless you actually bring violence to the fray.
I knew it was
it's always
the Finns
been
the whole
Finns.
time.
So the idea is that's like a CIA front group.
I don't know if that's the idea or it's just some group that
Why would they
should
do
be
that?
investigated.
Why would a Nordic right wing
I actually
Nordic
love
terror
this
group?
take. They were in their saunas and they were thinking about how to screw America. Let's see this Crooks kid.
They're a terrorist organization.
I know, but like terrorists,
Well,
like
I
Muslim
can't-
terrorists or like right wing terrorists. When I think Nordic, I think like a right wing extremist.
I don't know. I didn't watch the full video. I don't think I can rationalize what a terrorist group is thinking, but that's what I saw.
Dude, we don't have to go into alt media and some of the conspiracies circulating. I drive myself crazy with it, and these are my two sponsors who are holding me accountable. I think that, Frost, maybe tomorrow we should talk more about this issue because there are so many people who are expecting some game-changing revelation, a treasure trove, the likes of which the world's never seen that'll change everything. And I don't think people want that. I think people crave the order that like a true conspiracy can bring, where it's like, oh yeah, it was these 12 people, let's get rid of him and we're clean. As opposed to like it was a bad guy who had some weird shady connections, a lot were on a spectrum, and there were a lot of moving parts. Some used him as an asset, but not fully an agent. I don't know. I think like people don't like that murky middle. They'd prefer black and white. But we'll see what happens.
We will see. Interesting time to get back to the city. Get back on the
Indeed.
grid.
All right.
Well, very nice to be
Brought
back.
to you by Anheuser-Rice.
Yes, thank you again, Scott. You the man. Thank you for the beer, the tour, and the rice.
Shout out Scott.
Great to be back here. Shout out to Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Billy.
And Billy, happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
All right. Please subscribe.